to my Hue Shift tutorial. Hello, this is Shabby. But we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to do Hue Shift using my personal version of my avatar Quinn. Look at this baby. Okay, so we're gonna do some Hue Shift. So you got to select all the materials you want to Hue Shift. So I'm gonna do it on the pink stuff, the white hair, and the white. Actually, make sure they're unlocked first. Actually, if this is an avatar you're editing, you gotta unlock those. Bum 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 bum. Okay, so select all of them. Go down to special, actually not special effects, right here, color adjust. I'm using 7.1.60. Turn on color adjust. Give it a second. Okay, so for Hue Shift, Hue Replace, check that on. Right click on Hue Shift. You only have to do this if you're using Polyami 7 and above, because if you right click it, it'll animate it while it's locked, which means if it's locked, if you do not have it right clicked, it will not animate, which means you will not be able to use Hue Shift if you did not do that first. And then you can test it, so that's how we know it's working. But I also want this to Hue Shift, so if there's something like it's not Hue Shifting, you gotta check it. So it is using this material. So you gotta go to this material too, unlock it, color adjust, right click. Then you select all the ones you want to Hue Shift. Also, I'll add dissolves in here too. So go to this, unlock it. So for something like dissolves or emission or ring light, you have to go to a specific one. So since mine is a dissolve, go down here, Hue Shift, edge enabled, edge shift. And you can also do it for emission by going down right here and by clicking on Hue Shift right here. It has to be the sliding one, not the enable Hue Shift, because if you do that, it's not going to do anything. Because all that will do is turn Hue Shift on and off. Okay, so now, let's also add it to the other hair. Say up for emission. I'm not the best teacher, I apologize. Okay, so then turn that on, select everything that you're going to have Hue Shift, so I'm going to be doing it on the body as well. Okay, so to get started, you have to make an animation. So to do that, you just gotta create an animation clip, put it somewhere where you can easily access it. So I'm gonna go in Technical, Animations, Hue Shift. Go in there, Hue Shift 0. So in here, select all of the materials. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so start off, set this to 0. Actually, no, I'm doing this wrong. I apologize, but go to each individual one. It has to be on the mesh itself. You have to do this on the mesh. So stuff, like you have to go through every single one, turn on Hue Shift, and then set it to 0. Let's do it on the metals too. Make sure you have recording too, actually. I forgot to set on recording. Okay, but go through, color adjust. Is that working? It's supposed to be on my metal stuff. There we go. All right. So now let's actually do this. Go to body, because I'm going to be doing some Hue Shift on the body. Turn that up, turn it back down to 0. And it'll affect all of the ones that use this specific one. So you only have to do it per one per lake. Like I'll have to do it again for the color adjust types of Hue Shift. But for the ones that use emission or dissolves, you have to go back and turn those on as well. So down in dissolve, edge shift, up and then back down. But you got to go through on all of the meshes that you're going to have Hue Shift on and do this. It's a bit tedious, but it's worth it if you love Hue Shift like I do. Let's see. Did it do it on this one as well? Yes, it did. Hair. Now the hair, just do it on the emission for mine. And this should work with toggles as well. Like if you, for Quinn, for example, if you change her hair, it should still toggle as long as you have it set up with the proper material. It's a bit hard to explain, but yeah. That one, because that's on her jacket. Oh no, her jacket uses it on emission actually. Wait, does it? Oh no, it's on. I'm sorry. I apologize to anybody reading this. Actually, do not do this stuff while you were recording. Whoopsies. Okay, okay, delete that, and then turn that to 0. We just delete these real quick, and then to 0, because this one uses the dissolve emission, which I will do a tutorial on those another day, just not today. But yeah, just make sure everything's shifting the way you want. Is there any on the shoes? Nope. Shorts? Nope. Socks? No. Undies? Yes. It's a very tedious process, but it's worth it in the end. Okay, so I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do one for her eyes. I forgot to set up that material. Eyes. It's a very simple process. It just takes a minute to get set up. Turn on Hue Shift. Go back. Also, the cool thing about the preview, when you're doing preview, you can test it out and make sure it's working without messing up the avatar. And see, like, it's not working right now. So I gotta go through and check what it is using Hue Shift on. And if not, like, if you don't want it on specific parts, you don't have to do it on everything. But I like it on everything, but I'm just not gonna do it for the eyes, because oh well. Okay, so go up to this very top dot, Control C, Control V on the next frame, on frame number 1. You're going from frame 0 to frame 1. And then, new clip, Hue Shift 1. Paste what you just did, and put 1 in all of these. Let me get that done. Ba, 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 ba. And that was the most tedious part over. We just did it. Copy and paste this version, and there you go. The Hue Shift animation is now set up. So now to do the actual effects work. This one's a bit more complicated. Go down to your effects, animator. So first you're going to add Hue Shift as a layer. I'm going to throw this up here. Make sure you set your weight to 1. Click on the little cog. Now you're going to make a blend tree. Right click, create state from new blend tree. Okay? So this is how your toggle is going to work. Go in here, make a new parameter. Make it a float and name it Hue Shift. Mine is Hue Shift with no spaces. And then go into your blend tree. Up here on parameter, go down into Hue Shift, and now it'll react to the Hue Shift. Right here, add motion field, add 2. Go to your animations, Hue Shift 0, Hue Shift 1. Now it should automate the thresholds. Also, I forgot this step. Make sure you turn off loop time on any animations you use. Like if you're making toggles or anything, make sure you turn off loop time because that will fuck up your toggles. Now we gotta test this. Put your FX onto your avatar and go into play mode. Okay, and then you see she's using the FX layer. So pull your animation aside so you can test and then type in a random number. See? She is now hue shifted. It's not absolutely perfect, but I do need to fix some things on it. But that's a good sign. That means the hue shift is working. And now we can test it with our hairstyles. So like 0.5, 1. So it is hue shifting our hair as well, no matter what material you're using, which is a good sign. That means that my hue shift is working. And it's also working on everything I set it up to work on. So that means my hue shift is done. So now for the rest of it. The rest of it's a bit complicated as well if you're new to Unity, but if you want it, you've got to put in work. Okay, so go to your parameters. Add. It has to be typed the exact same casing as in your FX layer. Mine was Hue Shift with H and S uppercase. Float. Set the default to 0 so then it starts on the base color you have. And you don't have to start it on red or pink. I keep mine on pink because pink is my favorite color. But as long as it's set up, you can go through the entire rainbow based on the shade that you chose under your original color. Okay, so now we got that set up. Go to your menu. So I'm going to put this in my colors menu. Add a new control. Hue Shift. Make it a radial puppet. Do not touch this one. Touch this one. and then go down to Hue Shift Float, and there you go.